Welcome back to Eliances Heroes, where heroes in business align. To be part of our super community and find out more about Eliances, visit www.eliances.com.
That's right, and we're back. And I can't believe how many interviews we've done, now over 1,400 interviews. And we're still getting feedback on one of the earlier interviews that we did when I had the President of the United Nations General Assembly on. So make sure that you go to Eliances.com. That's Eliances.com. So I'm excited about our next interview. Are you ready for this? We have with us on the show Sandeep Chennakeshu. He is the former CTO of mobile phones and Sony Ericsson, former president of Blackberry. Can you believe that? And COO of Uhnder. He's got a new book that's coming out called Your Company is Your Castle, which can be found on Amazon. And also you can go to his website to learn more, which is Sandeep Chennakeshu, and we'll have that on our website so you can go ahead and be able to click on it and know the spelling. So welcome to the show, Sandeep. Really excited to have you here today.
Thank you, David, and thank you for inviting me today.
So you have quite many accomplishments and quite a history in regards to business and that. Boy, where do we even start? I mean, you were president of Blackberry at that time. I mean, everybody knew what Blackberry was. Talk to us about how that even became to be.
Well, if you go back to my background, I was very fortunate to have great parents who encouraged me to follow my passion. And that led me to North America to pursue a PhD. And once I finished it, I got one great job after another. And I got immersed in 3 industries: mobile phones, where I basically built wireless technology with my team across the world, and then migrated into semiconductors for medical, consumer, and automotive electronics, and then moved into software and security. And that's essentially what I did at Blackberry. I came after the phone days at Blackberry, and I ran what is called Blackberry Technology Solutions. And it's been a fascinating career over the last 35 years, where I've got the chance to work with incredible people across 14 countries and build multi-generations of products used by a very, very large population in the world.
Well, yeah, wasn't it at one time that all government officials, I think, were only allowed to use a BlackBerry or something at that time? There was something.
Yes,
right?
I mean, BlackBerry was largely used in the enterprise world and wherever security was prevalent, because BlackBerry, even today, has very superior security technology and the ability to manage your content and data extremely securely.
Now, with all of the experience that you've had, what was the then motivation to go ahead and write a book?
It's a really good question. I had the opportunity to basically work in a number of industries. And I thought about writing this book several years ago, and I had a framework. But I thought to myself, what should the theme be? And this is what I struck upon. When I started my career, I got promoted rather quickly because of my technical and operational knowledge. But I frankly didn't know anything about business. I was clueless. And I made a ton of mistakes. I stumbled, but every stumbling block became a stepping stone for success. So I said, what if I write a book chronicling all that I'd experienced and creating a framework of principles that others could use to build businesses and build themselves to run businesses, hopefully to avoid the pitfalls and traps that I stumbled upon. And hence, I decided that I'd write this book with the title it has.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And again, it's Your Company is Your Castle. And you can get that on Amazon.com. So go to Amazon.com and get Your Company is Your Castle. Let's jump into that in regards to the book itself now. Now, you state, I believe, right, 2/3 of all companies fail within 10 years. That's an that's ginormous number. Why is that?
I think, most companies are started by clever people with clever ideas. Unfortunately, it takes much more to build a company. Very often, people opt for speed rather than building a company systematically with all the elements that needs to be built in order to structure the business to survive. Because businesses experience competition, and businesses also experience macroeconomic factors like recessions, depressions, periods of pandemics, etc. How do they basically survive through all of this and continue to remain profitable? And when you don't have the structure to do that, you invariably run out of money and you fail.
And I want to let our listeners and viewers know that Eliances is now celebrating its 10th year anniversary this year. So we made it so far, Sandeep. Are we doing good?
Yes, absolutely. You're obviously doing something completely correct.
10 years we're celebrating it. So we've made so far the cut. Now, again, you've been also too very successful at transforming broken companies. What are some of the secrets to doing that?
Yeah, so what I basically talk about in the book is I compare building a business to very similar to that of a medieval castle. Why have medieval castles that have stood the test of time? Why are they still standing? How have they withstood invaders for several years, and how have they withstood nature's elements? So I look at 8 elements of a castle, and I look at 8 elements of a business, and I've compared and contrasted them. And in the case of a company, you have competitors who are the invaders, and you have macroeconomic factors that are nature's elements. And I believe that all businesses should have these 8 elements. The first is to start with a business model that is both sticky, that is consumers or customers are averse to leaving your products, and 2, a business that basically generates cash because cash funds growth and helps you build every part of your business. The second element is the strategy. This is like the perimeter wall that encompasses the castle or surrounds the castle. And the strategy has to basically protect your castle. And this, when you have this castle, this strategy basically protects what is called the central element of the castle, which is the keep. And this is where nobility lived. It had the granary, it had your arms, etc. Now, in the company, the keep is the culture. So, strategy is what you need done, but culture is what you get done. So if your culture and strategy are not aligned, then your strategy will not come to fruition. And then you need a number of, the perimeter wall has to be protected by towers, because the towers, which they house guards that could keep a lookout as to oncoming armies, as well as to protect people breaching the walls. And these 4 towers are essentially product creation, product delivery, sales channels, and execution across every aspect of the company. And finally, you need what I call stakeholder confidence. This is the roof on the castle. And the roof protects you against nature's elements and arrows. And this roof or stakeholder confidence comprises basically getting the confidence of your investors, getting the confidence of your customers, and getting the confidence of your employees. And once you put all of this together in a fashion that interlocks and reinforces each other, you build a company to last.
Well said. Sandeep, at the beginning you mentioned, and I think this is important as we just have a little bit more time left here for our interview, is you mentioned about your parents and that. What advice do you have for parents or young adults out there too, how they can make a difference in the world like you have, again, having been CTO of Ericsson mobile phones, president of Blackberries, and so on and so on, now author of Your Company is Your Castle on Amazon? What do you see as that? I mean, you were fortunate to have parents.
I have 7 beliefs that I preach to both my children as well as all my mentees. And the first belief is dream with conviction. When I was starting my career, I wanted to be in mobile phones in the 80s. Everyone told me that's an uncertain path. Even a big consulting company says there's not even going to be 1 million phones sold by the year 2000. And they're big and bulky and strapped to your back. But I thought differently. And I bet everything and went into mobile phones, and I've never regretted it. So I would say dream with conviction. Number 2, periodically leave your comfort zone to basically learn new things and to adapt and change. Number 3, in life, we all have successes and we have failures. While the memories of success are confidence boosting, the reflection on failure actually can be enlightening if you choose to address these issues. Number 4, I say deal with adversity. And we all face adversity, but how you deal with it is important. You either walk away from it, you accept it and deal with it, but don't let it ever swallow you. I also tell all my mentees, go get battle tested. When you play a game, no amount of practice helps. It's what you do in the middle against formidable opponents. And you can't be an analyst of the game to learn the game. You actually have to be a player. So I said, go get battle tested. And then be curious. Constantly try to learn something, even if it's a little bit. You don't have to be an expert in everything. Get knowledge. Learn from others. Keep an open mind. Because knowledge is powerful and if used properly. And finally, stay true to yourself, because you have to believe in yourself and believe in what you do, because nobody will believe in you more. And I followed these 7 principles and beliefs, and I preach them, and I hope others can find some benefit from these beliefs.
Fantastic, and we appreciate you sharing that. Sandy, you help transform broken companies and help them build a more successful, sustainable one. That's a hero. Sandeep Chennakeshu, CTO of Ericsson Mobile Phones, Sony Ericsson, president of Blackberry, CEO of Uhnder. You can reach him by going to his website, which we'll have posted on Eliances.com, and make sure you get his book, Your Company is Your Castle. Your Company is Your Castle. That's featured on Amazon. Thank you so much again, Sandeep, for being here. This has been great.
Thank you, David.